Most cars don't die from age in Australia, they die from heat, and from the small mistakes drivers make without ever realizing it. 45-degree days don't just make you sweat, they cook your coolant, fry your battery, and crack the rubber holding your engine together. That's why some cars sail past 300,000 kilometers, while others blow a head gasket on the highway one summer afternoon. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 mistakes destroying cars in the Australian heat. And number 3 is one almost every single driver makes. Let's get straight into it, starting with number 10. Number 10. Running tired or watered down coolant. In this climate, coolant is the only thing standing between you and a melted engine. Yet most drivers never give it a single thought. Over time, it turns acidic. It stops carrying heat away, eats through your water pump, and lets the engine run hotter every day. Worse, plenty of people top it up with plain water to save a few dollars, which dilutes the protection right when you need it most and bakes mineral scale inside your radiator. Flush your cooling system every 2 to 3 years and refill with the correct coolant for your make. No mixing colors, no universal jugs, no guesswork. A $50 flush is nothing next to a $2,000 head gasket job. Get this wrong and the heat will find the weakness. And if you think coolant is the only fluid letting you down, wait until you see what the sun does to your tires. Number 9. Ignoring your tire pressure in the heat. Hot roads and hot air are a dangerous mix, yet most drivers set their pressures once and never check again. As the temperature climbs, the air inside your tires expands and the pressure rises. Add a sun-softened road and worn rubber, and you've got the perfect recipe for a blowout at highway speed. Check your pressures cold, early in the morning before the heat builds. Match the number on the placard inside your driver's door, not the maximum stamped on the tire wall. Don't overinflate thinking it helps. It does the opposite. Inspect the sidewalls too, because heat and harsh UV crack old rubber from the outside in, and a cracked tire is a slow leak waiting to strand you. 5 quick minutes with a gauge can genuinely save your life out here. And speaking of things that quietly break down in the relentless heat, let's talk about your engine oil. Number 8. Stretching your oil changes too far. That long service interval in your handbook was written for a mild climate, not for 40-degree summers and dusty country roads. Heat is brutal on oil. It thins it out, breaks down the additives, and lets it oxidize far quicker than the calendar suggests. Once that happens, the oil stops protecting your bearings and cam, and metal grinds on metal where you can't see it. Out here, change your oil every 5,000 kilometers. Sooner if you sit in traffic, tow a trailer, or drive on gravel. Always use a full synthetic in a modern engine. It handles heat far better than the cheap stuff. And never skip the filter, because a $2 saving on a no-name filter can cost you the whole engine. Run it low on a scorcher and you'll cook the lot. And now, here's a mistake that turns your cabin into an oven. Number 7. Neglecting your air conditioning and cabin filter. In an Australian summer, your AC isn't a luxury, it's survival. Yet most people only notice it the day it stops blowing cold. By then, the damage is done. The system loses refrigerant slowly through old seals, and running it low burns out the compressor, a part that can cost over $1,500 to replace. A clogged cabin filter makes it worse, choking the airflow and forcing the system to work overtime. Have the gas and the compressor checked before summer hits, not during the first heat wave when every workshop is booked solid. Swap the cabin filter once a year. It's a 10-minute job. And run the AC for a few minutes to stop the seals drying out and cracking. Look after it now, and it'll keep you cool for years. Next up is something hiding under your bonnet that the heat attacks every single day. Number 6. Ignoring cracked belts and hoses. Rubber is the first thing the heat kills, and the parts keeping your engine alive are all made of it. Drive belts dry out, glaze over, and crack along their edges. Radiator hoses go hard and brittle, then split without warning on the hottest day of the year. When a hose lets go, you lose all your coolant in seconds, and the engine overheats before you can even pull over to the side. I've seen near-new-looking cars stranded on the highway because a 5-year-old hose finally gave up the ghost. So pop the bonnet once a month and take 2 minutes to look. Squeeze the hoses. They should feel firm but flexible, never rock hard or spongy and soft. Check the belts for cracks, fraying, or a shiny glazed surface that means they're worn. Replace anything that looks tired before it fails, because these parts always pick the worst possible moment to die. A full belt and hose refresh costs a couple of $100 at most. An overheated engine costs you thousands. Don't gamble with old, dried-out rubber in this brutal climate. Number 5. Cooking a tired old battery. Everyone blames winter for dead batteries, but in this country, it's the heat that does the real damage. High temperatures boil the fluid sitting inside, corrode the lead plates, and quietly drain the life out of your battery months before it finally lets you down. The cruel part is that it usually fails on the hottest morning of the year, in a car park, miles from anywhere useful. Most batteries out here last just 3 to 4 years, not the 5 or 6 you'd get in a cooler climate down south. If yours is past 3, get it load tested before summer. It's a free check at most auto shops. Keep the terminals clean of that white, crusty corrosion, because a quick scrub with baking soda and water does the trick nicely. Make sure it's clamped down tight, too, since vibration and heat working together will finish it off early. And park in the shade whenever you possibly can to keep those under-bonnet temperatures down. A brand new battery is a couple $100. A tow truck on a 40-degree day is pure misery. Number 4. Parking in full sun with no protection at all. It feels completely harmless, but leaving your car baking out in the open every single day is slowly destroying it from the inside out. The dashboard cracks and fades. The seats dry out and split. The plastics turn brittle, and the whole interior ages a full decade in just a few summers. Up top, the sun's harsh UV eats through your clear coat, leaving the paint dull, chalky, and peeling away. And under that black bonnet, every component is cooking at temperatures it was never designed to sit at for hours on end. The fix is simple and cheap. Park in the shade or a garage whenever you possibly can. Use a windscreen sunshade because it can drop your cabin temperature by 20 degrees or more. A proper car cover protects the paint if you've got no shelter at all. And a quick coat of wax a couple of times a year shields the clear coat from those punishing UV rays. Small habits, big difference over time. Protect it from the sun now or watch it age long before its time. And this next one, number 3, is the one mistake I see almost everyone out here get badly wrong. Number 3. Topping up the radiator with plain tap water. This is the one almost everyone gets wrong, and it does more damage than you'd guess. When the coolant runs low on a hot day, the easy fix feels obvious. Just pour in some water from the tap and carry on. But tap water is full of minerals that bake into hard scale inside your radiator and engine block, slowly clogging the passages that carry heat away. Worse, plain water has none of the corrosion protection proper coolant gives you, so rust starts forming where you can't see it. Over a few summers, that scale and rust choke your cooling system until it can't cope, and the engine starts running hot for no obvious reason. Do it right instead. Always carry a pre-mixed bottle of the correct coolant in the boot. If you're stuck, use water sparingly and flush the system properly as soon as you can. Never make tap water a habit. It's a slow poison for your engine in this climate. Number 2. Towing or overloading in the peak heat. Hooking up a heavy trailer or cramming the car full for a road trip is hard enough on your drivetrain. Do it in the middle of a scorching afternoon, and you're asking for trouble. The extra load makes your engine and transmission work overtime, and all that effort turns into heat the cooling system was never designed to shed on a 40-degree day. Transmission fluid is the first casualty. It overheats, breaks down, and once it's cooked, the gearbox is on borrowed time. A new transmission can cost more than the car is worth. Plan around the heat instead. Tow and travel early in the morning, or later in the evening when it's cooler. Fit a transmission cooler if you tow regularly. It's cheap insurance. Keep your coolant fresh and your radiator clean. And watch that temperature gauge like a hawk, because if it climbs while you're towing, back off immediately. Respect the heat and the load together, or your drivetrain will pay the price. Number 1. Ignoring the temperature gauge and driving on anyway. This is the mistake that turns a cheap fix into a dead engine, and people do it every summer. The needle climbs into the red, or the warning light flicks on, and instead of stopping, they tell themselves it's almost home, just a few more kilometers. Those few kilometers are where engines die. An overheating engine warps the head, blows the gasket, and can seize solid, turning a small coolant leak into a $5,000 rebuild or a write-off. The moment that gauge climbs past normal or a light comes on, pull over safely and switch the engine off. Let it cool down. Never open a hot radiator cap, and check your coolant level once it's safe. If it keeps overheating, call for help rather than push your luck. Treat that gauge as the most important instrument on your dashboard, because out here in the heat, it's the difference between a quick top-up and a destroyed engine. Watch it, respect it, and your car can run for hundreds of thousands of kilometers. There you have it. The 10 mistakes quietly destroying cars all over this country every single summer. None of them are expensive or difficult to avoid. They just take a little attention before the relentless heat does its worst. Look after your coolant, your fluids, your battery, and that all-important temperature gauge, and your car will shrug off the hottest days for years to come. Stay cool out there, drive smart, and your engine and your wallet will thank you.